Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant chapter 14, sloka number 1 to 5.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha Idam Jnanamupashritya Mama Sadharmyamagataha Sarge Pinopajayante Pralayena Vyathanti cha Mama Yonirmahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavanti Yaha Tasam Brahma Mahadyonihi Aham Bija Pradapita Satvam Rajastama iti Guna Prakriti Sambhavaha Nibadnanti Mahabaho Dehe Dehinamavyayam.
Chapter 14 is called as Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. The yoga of distinction between the three gunas. The three gunas are namely Satva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. Now, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna are the two extremes. Satva Guna is the balance, the middle path. One extreme of complete indulgence in the world propelled by desires, leading a desirous, result-oriented, greedy life which is filled with agitations is Rajasic. Tamasic is very cold, callous, lazy, lethargic, indolent, inactive life. You understand? So when your gunas are extremely indolent, lazy, lethargic, it is categorized as tamasic. And it is extremely passionate, desirous, worldly, it is rajasic. Sattva is when your mind is calm, serene, composed, balanced. These are the three gunas. So in this chapter, he is going to discuss about these three gunas in detail from various angles, which we discussed last week. So we have to rise from tamas, rise from rajas also, move from tamas to rajas to sattva and go beyond sattva. Sattva alone cannot exist, which we explained last week. Balance has a meaning only when there are two extremes now. To be balanced between the two extremes. When the two extremes are gone, where the balance also will not be there, because there is no meaning in talking about balance thereafter. So when you come to 100% sattva, sattva also doesn't exist. You go beyond gunas. And that guna atita state is the state of Godhead or Brahman, which is your original nature, which is Atma. So you have to go beyond tamas, rajas and sattva also. Tamas, rajas, sattva, all three binds you in one particular way. How each of them binds you. Even sattva binds you. But sattvic bondage is definitely better than rajasic and tamasic bondage maybe. But bondage is bondage. Then you are bound in one bedroom house. 6x6 cell or 100-bedroom house. Bondage is bondage. You understand? So therefore, Satva also binds you. So therefore, one should not stay put in Satva. But coming to Satva helps you in going beyond and realizing the self. Therefore, one needs to develop balanced state of mind. In a balanced state of mind, you'll be able to see the self becomes more clear. You'll be able to do sadhana much better and then evolve better also. So the first topic in this chapter, these topics are all divided by Swamiji to make us understand the thought flow. You understand? So the first topic is from verse 1 to 4, where he talks about realizing Brahman. Sages transcend creation and dissolution. That's the topic. Creation and dissolution. Meaning one who goes beyond birth and death. One who goes beyond the very birth and death cycle. And he says sages. Sages, Muni. The Muni is one who reflects, thinks on higher aspects of life. Maintaining silence and using his resources very carefully, his or her resources very carefully, not dissipating it, but channelizing it properly. For example, Maunat Munihi, they say. Maunat Munihi means one who is silent. Silent doesn't mean it doesn't talk. They talk when needed to be talked. How much? That much only they talk. So they conserve the energy. The whole idea is, in life, if you are wise, you will conserve the energy that is getting dissipated in the lower channel and direct the conserved energy towards the higher. Isn't it? You need to have a goal. Even from the worldly point of view, if you see whatever worldly goal you have, for that also you need to conserve and channelize your energy. If you dissipate your energy in the unproductive channels, then you won't have enough energy to channelize it towards the higher, towards the goal. So therefore, you need to conserve the energy from dissipating it in the lower channels, direct the energy thus conserved towards the higher. This is called tapas. So a sage is one who does that kind of tapas. And a person who does that kind of tapas alone goes beyond creation and dissolution and realizes Brahman. So without tapas, you cannot get there. Without effort, not possible to get there. You know, the right effort, what it is, all that the Gita talks about. So in the very first shloka, Sri Krishna offered Arjuna. He said, Bhu param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam yajñatva munayas sarve param siddhim ito gataha. Sri Krishna told Arjuna, it's a conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna that I will again declare the supreme knowledge, the best of knowledges, which having known, all sages have gone from here to ultimate perfection. First of all, time and again we have mentioned in all our classes, whenever you hear the word perfection, what you need to understand is there is no such thing as perfection in the external world. You cannot achieve perfection at the material level. You cannot achieve perfection at the physical level, emotional level, intellectual level. You can't say, yes, this is it. I have reached the pinnacle. There is no more to go. You can't say that. What you call as perfection from one angle, from a totally different angle, it will be imperfect. It won't be enough. So in the external world, you will always find relatively perfect only, you can say. You can't say it's absolutely perfect. But absolute perfection is where? That is only within you. You understand? This is what Vedanta is by saying. So you reach that ultimate perfection means you rise above the desires. You rise above the gunas. So he says, I will declare you this knowledge. And what kind of knowledge? Supreme knowledge. This knowledge is the highest, knowing which there remains nothing else to be known. You understand? For example, that America, this Asia, that Asia, this Delhi, that Delhi, this Greater Kailash, that Greater Kailash, this S block, that S block, this 477, that 477, this second floor, that second floor, this room, that room, this chair, that chair, this body, that body, this mind, that mind, this intellect, that intellect, this vasanas, that vasanas, this atma. This atma के बाद कोई नहीं. You understand? This atma पहुंचने के बाद और कुछ नहीं. That is the end. That is why we say Vedanta, end of knowledge. उसके बाद nothing to be known. And this atma is what is pulsating in every being. It is this atma which is the knowing principle which enables every being to know through their organs of perception, through their emotions. You feel various emotions. Through organs of perception, you perceive various object of perceptions. Through mind, you feel various emotions. Through intellect, you think and conceive various thoughts. All this is made possible by the self, which is the same in every being. It is that which enables everyone to function. That self, when you know, nothing else remains to be known. Understand? That is Uttama Jnana. And when you understand that, then you understand it is the same self that is pervaded in this universe as this universe. You understand? Once you understand that, then you go beyond dualities. You go beyond pluralities. The moment you go beyond pluralities and dualities, you go beyond insecurity, fear. जब तक दूसरा चीज है, there is fear that the दूसरा चीज or दूसरा being can do some harm to you. जब दूसरा कोई नहीं, then where is the fear of insecurity? Where is the question of insecurity? A newly wedded couple on a honeymoon, they went in for a cruise. They went in cruise, and in the cruise, suddenly they experienced storm, and they were terrified. Especially the wife was terrified. So they were in the room inside, and the storm is going on. So the ship is kind of, they are experiencing a very, rough sail. So the wife was having a little bit of fear. Suddenly the husband took a knife and put it to her throat, to her neck. She said, "Kya bakwas kar rahe? Huh? What do you mean? I'm putting knife to your neck and you're not afraid? You're not scared? Why will I be afraid? You and me are one only. I know you're doing some prank. You're not going to harm me." So she's not afraid. Why? That oneness was there. You understand? So what the husband was saying is to the wife, they are also part of the same nature. How can the nature harm us? It is just having fun. Let us also have fun. You understand? The moment dualities are gone, pluralities are gone. If she had otherness, she would have been scared. Yes. Because she had no otherness, she was not scared. So in other words, when there is oneness, when there is identification, there is no more insecurity. You understand? In other words, your samsara ends. Samsara means what? Mind is bound. That's why you think at some point, if I go to that other point, I'll be fine, safe. When you get to that other point, after so much of difficulty, there you realize even that is not safe. Ye bhi not enough. Aur bhagna. Why that is? Because you are thinking, you are running externally. So you won't be able to find that perfection. The moment you find the self, then you will see it has got nothing to do with the outside, it is to do with my inside. that mental bondage, that mental samsara will not be there. You understand? In fact, when you come to that stage where there is no more mental pressure to acquire more, then going in the world, dealing with the world, everything will be just a game, just a tamasha. And with fun, you will be acquiring more, maybe. Things may add up to your life, but out of fun, with no pressure. That is all Vedanta is trying to bring into your life. When Vedanta says end the samsara, Vedanta is not saying you have to end the samsara by leaving everything. That is one lifestyle some people do. Like, for example, some people choose to do research. When they choose to do research, they have to go into the laboratory, to go into silence, they have to do that, they have to follow that kind of a lifestyle. Isn't it? But not everybody is doing that. Others are going about dealing with the products that is brought through those research. They may be in marketing, they may be in sales, they may be in distribution, they may be in administration, organization, all that they may be. You understand? But therefore, what Vedanta says is thereafter you can lead a life of pravritti or nivritti. That's your choice. Pravritti means being in the world. Nivritti means withdrawn. But both ways you attain perfection from within. So therefore, in this shloka he says, what is the faida? What is the benefit of gaining this knowledge? The benefit of gaining this knowledge is, as soon as you really understood, immediately the samsara goes. Samsara is what you've created. Yeah, I'll explain this. When you say samsara, I always repeat in my class, food can be in your pate. Pate in Hindi means stomach. Food can be in your pate or on the plate, but not in your mind. You understand? When the food starts occupying your mind, then you are a glutton. One of the 7 deadly sins they talk about is gluttony. Isn't it? So, that is called samsara. Eating food or keeping it in the fridge because you have to deal with it, that is not samsara. But the moment it occupies your mind, it is samsara. So whether it is your obligation at home or obligation in the office, in the society, duties, whatever it may be, the moment it starts preoccupying your mind, it's called samsara. So the moment you gain the knowledge of the self, if you really understand that, as you are understanding, the samsara ends. See, the difference between this knowledge and the other knowledges are, you have to go and apply it. Supposing you go to a cooking class, how to cook, they teach you there. Right? Now you learn, you go back home, practice it. 2, 3, sorry. 2, 3 times you practice, then you become perfect in it, maybe. But as far as this knowledge is concerned, as you understood it, instantly you will end the samsara. For example, sorry, if you are climbing the mountain and you reach the cliff, you know that you've reached the cliff. Will you take one more step? You won't. Because you know that you've reached the cliff. Automatically, you will stop taking one more step. It ends. Because you know that you've reached the cliff. So when you really understand about yourself, are you with me? We discussed many things about self in all these 13 chapters. Especially in the very beginning, 2nd chapter itself. He discussed between Atma and Anatma. What is the distinction? Anything other than Atma is called Anatma. Everything that is changing is Anatma. Changeless is Atma. So all the discussions we had there, what did be one of the points we discussed is Atma is akarta, abhokta. It doesn't do anything. Remaining as a non-doer, it enlivens everything to do according to their nature. Isn't that what he said? We studied also in the 4th chapter, 18th shloka. You have to see akarma in karma, karma in akarma. When he says, I'll again speak of the knowledge, he's referring to this knowledge only. Otherwise you will worry what knowledge he's talking about. See, why again and again he's talking that knowledge? Because you're still keeping things in your mind. You're still worried about what will happen to my great grandchild. When your son himself or daughter herself is yet to get married, you are worried about your great grandchildren. That is called samsara. You haven't even started a business. You are already worried about filing tax returns. You understand? This is called samsara. Are you getting it? So, this nonsense has to end. It will end if you have understood the knowledge. If you haven't understood the knowledge, you only got the information, but you've really not understood. Which means what? This samsara will not end. So what he says is, I shall speak to you again that knowledge. What knowledge? Which I have already spoken so far. That's what I am referring to. So in the 4th chapter, sloka number 18, what did he say? You have to see akarma in karma, karma in akarma. It's a very important sloka. I am bringing that here to make you understand how you will go beyond creation and dissolution. If you create only, you have to dissolve it. Na? So whatever stupidity you already created, you will dissolve it instantly. And you will make sure that you won't create further. You nicely gave istifa. You understand? Istifa you say, no? Huh? She nice. Her resignation. Nicely she retired. Sonia. You understand? Because she knows she's married somebody who has to run only. And all the more you will run because the wife is at home now. Poor fellow, he cannot retire. You understand? So, the thing is, seeing akarma in karma. What is that? Adi Shankara beautifully explains. He is from Kerala. And in Kerala, a lot of rivers and coconut trees on the sides. So he says, when a person is traveling on the boat, on the river, he is traveling in the boat on the river. The boat is moving and he is experiencing not as, his experience is what? His experience is not saying to him that the boat is moving. According to him, the trees are moving. When you are moving in the boat, when you look through the window, it appears as if that trees are moving. The coconut trees are moving. Are the coconut trees really moving? They are not moving. You understand? But it appears to you as moving. So in that moving coconut tree, you should see the unmoving coconut tree. Is this clear? What appears to be moving is actually not moving. So now come to yourself. Today it appears to you that you are doing many things. You understand? You think as a mother only because of you, Abhinav will eat in the next few days that he will be here. You understand? Only because of you that Abhinav is going to become whatever he is. That feeling will be there, isn't it? So you are thinking you are doer. But actually Atma is non-doer. For example, you traveled on that boat. The boat was moving. You were not moving. You were sitting in the boat. But you say, I moved from this shore to that shore. So you are attributing the movement to yourself while you are actually not a moving object here. You get it? You are that unmoving reality. This is what Vedanta wants to tell you. So Vedanta wants to tell you that the real doer is not you. Your body, your mind, your intellect, Prakriti, as per its nature, chalta hai. Understand? But unfortunately, because you identify with it, you think you are doing everything. Therefore, I have to conduct this wedding. Oh my God, wedding are hai, wedding are hai, wedding are hai. Oh my God. And then so much involvement. And then after the wedding, बहुत stress हो गया. I have to go to some nice spa destination and relax for 5 days. Why all these things? Because you thought you are the doer. And that is called samsara. You get it? This stupidity will end. So because of this, you created the samsara. The moment you understood, instantly you dissolve that samsara. You are the creator of the samsara. You are the destroyer of the samsara. Nobody else can destroy your samsara. Nobody else can destroy your samsara. I don't know whether you saw that movie, Beautiful Mind. It's an outstanding movie. Russell Crowe acts, no? Russell Crowe, right? I think Russell Crowe acts in that. I've seen it many times. I forgot the name of the hero. Russell Crowe only, correct. Yeah. Nice movie, real story of a professor who was a schizophrenic. He got Nobel Prize also. Now, he doesn't realize, up to a point in that movie they show, he doesn't realize that he's schizophrenic. He's been forced to take medication and all that. He forcefully takes medication. But his wife, whoever acted as his wife, brilliantly she acted. You know, outstanding movie it is. And she is very, very cooperative with him. It's a very tough life for her to live with him. If he doesn't take medication, again he'll go back to that other imaginations, you know. So once she has gone out somewhere, he takes his child to give bath in the bathroom and he keeps her in the bathtub. He opens the tap and he forgets and goes into his imaginations. She was about to die. That time, luckily, the wife comes and she sees it and she loses it that time. She says, I'm not going to live with you anymore. When she says, I'm going to go now. And that's the time he says, please don't go, don't go, don't go. And then when she says, I'm going, then he suddenly realizes something. He says, yes, I understand that I have a problem. That time he says, I understand I have a problem. He says that. See, he imagines a character, a girl, who, as per his imagination, she is his niece. And he's been imagining this character for many years. And suddenly at that point, he realizes, something happens to him, that it is an imagination only. He realizes that. How? Because till then he said, I am not having any problem. But they forced him to have medication, so he had it. But this point he suddenly realizes, because he says, yes, because that girl for so many years has not been growing at all. She's been the same age. How is that possible? Suddenly it dawns on him. From that time he starts cooperating. You understand? From that time he starts cooperating. Later on, if I remember correctly, after he receives the Nobel Prize and is walking, another person asks, so nowadays you don't imagine? Nowadays those things doesn't happen. He says, no, it does. It goes on, but I have learned to ignore it. In other words, in the world you live, these kind of things will be there, but you will not be attached to it. That samsara won't be there anymore for you. So you have to realize that you are creating the samsara. Nobody else. You get it? So when the topic says, what he talks about in the topic given in the next shloka. The sage will, So in this shloka, all he says is, he goes to ultimate perfection. What that ultimate perfection is, the next shloka he will say. Which is already covered in the topic, that you will go beyond creation and dissolution. Yes, what do you want? Akarma in karma, meaning in action. You must see the inactive Atma. In other words, you are actually inactive, but you are imagining yourself to be the doer.
Because we don't see the Atma and we see the.
You are seeing yourself as the doer, na? While you are the non-doer. That's what he wants to explain. So that knowledge I will talk to you from a different angle, obviously. Same thing he won't repeat. Same thing, but from a different angle he'll explain. He says, I will explain it from a different angle. He's going to talk about it from the guna angle here. Okay. But that very same knowledge. So all I am explaining to you, when he says sages have gone from here means what? From this body. From this body, from this samsara to the ultimate perfection. Means what? I've become free from the samsara. That's what I'm saying. You, out of misunderstanding of yourself, have created this samsara in your head. You are keeping it in your head, nobody else. It's in your head. But that, for you to understand, may take time. But the moment you understand, you will drop it instantly. Why will you carry it on your head? There's one very interesting story usually discussed. I think Ramana Maharishi also gives the story. A fellow was carrying his luggage on his head when he was sitting in the bullock cart. He's sitting on the bullock cart and traveling, but he's keeping his luggage on his head. Somebody asked, why are you doing it? Keep it on the bullock cart only. He said, no, bullock is already carrying me. I don't want to burden the bullock further. Isn't that stupidity? The moment you understand that whether you keep it on your head or you keep it on the bullock cart, only bullock is going to carry. But by keeping it on your head, you are not reducing the stress on bullock, but you are adding stress on yourself. You understand? This is called samsara. This ends. Instantly ends if you realize it, if you understood that. But to understand that, it may take time. You could have gathered the information from different angles. But understand that takes time. Nothing wrong in the information. What is wrong? Obviously, the one who has received is still not pure. I come and give you one tennis racket. You go and play tennis. Same racket when it is given to Nadal or Federer or Djokovic. Same racket only are given. Suddenly you see a different game there. Has it got anything to do with the racket? It's to do with the person who is using the racket. So the knowledge is given, but you are not yet prepared or ready. So you have to do sadhana. That's why he says sages have gone from here to ultimate perfection. Because sages are constantly doing sadhana, tapas. All you are doing is you are only putting makeup and coming to the class. You understand? You put makeup and come to the class and listen and go back. Okay, information will go. What about transformation? The transformation will come when you do tapas only. So as you purify your personality, whatever you heard before or hearing now can instantly bring change in your life. A lot of people say, I've been listening to this knowledge for so many years. Nothing has been happening. Nothing has happened. Right? It's got nothing to do with the information. It's to do with you. You have to still do the tapas. That is what he's saying. We'll go to sloka number 2.
idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha.
Having taken refuge in this knowledge and attained unity with me, they are neither born even in creation nor disturbed in dissolution. So now he is talking about a person going beyond birth and death here, going beyond creation and dissolution. Not just the samsara that they've created in the mind. They also end the idea in their head that they are somebody who is born when the body is born. They end that idea. We all have that idea that we are born when the body is born. Right? See, at the moment, when you take a picture of yourself, you call yourself from the head to toe. It's so much of hair. Tomorrow, let's say you go for a haircut. So much of your hair is removed. Still you say, this is me. So what exactly are you? You understand? So the I today is identified with the body. And you therefore think you are that body. And you're going about thinking that you are born. And the body is born. And thinking that the body dies, I also die. When the body dies, I die. So he says, no. This will end when having taken refuge in this knowledge. What is this having taken refuge in this knowledge mean? What is this taking refuge? Idam jnanam upashritya. What is that? Refuge in the knowledge means. When he says having taken refuge, how would you understand the taking refuge? So what is that? Surrender. Not just faith at the external level. When he says having taken refuge in this knowledge and attained unity with me. Idam jnanam upashritya mamasa dharmyam agataha, he says. So you will be able to, attain unity with me once you have taken refuge in this knowledge. Refuge in this knowledge means that knowledge is everything for you. You live it. It will be the central thing around which your life will revolve. It should not be one embellishment in your life. That ticking, like you tick, I have to go walk every day. Okay, tick over here. I have to spend some time with my friends every day. Tick. I have to study Gita. Tick. You understand? That is not taking refuge. Taking refuge means your life revolves around that Gita. That is called Shraddha also. When you say Shraddha, doesn't mean, of course I have faith in Gita. What are you telling? I believe in Gita. That is not just belief. That is not Shraddha. Shraddha means, you remember that story I always talk about? An old lady story. In a kingdom, they were suffering from lack of rain, drought for many years. So the king said, let's do some yajna. Because it's a belief that when they do yajna, rain comes. So he called a Pandit and said, let's fix a date for yajna. You kindly see the date chart and tell me which is the best date to have the yajna done. I'll organize it. So the pujari said, okay, this is the date you can do the yajna. So they said, okay, you come and do the yajna on that day. And king said, go and announce. On this day, we will have the yajna in this place. Announce it to the public. The pujari said, I will do the yajna on that day. I'll conduct the yajna on that day. Only on one condition. What? At least one person who participates in the yajna should have shraddha, should have faith. Only then I will conduct yajna. He said, what is the big deal? I myself believe in this. That's why I'm saying, let's conduct yajna. Okay, I'm also going to be participating. He said, yeah, no problem. What kind of a condition is this? He thought. So when everything was organized on the day, everybody assembled there. So many people came. King was also there. But the Brahman would not start the puja, would not start the yajna. Obviously, king understood. According to him, we have not got that shraddha that he is expecting. And suddenly, after some time, he says, let's now start. So everybody turns to see who is now coming through the entrance. An old lady comes with an umbrella. You are conducting yajna for rain. But nobody brought umbrella. So you do not have Shraddha. You understand? So Shraddha, when you say, it is not just a superficial faith. If you say, I am studying Gita, I'm gaining this knowledge, you should take refuge in that. Everything should revolve around that now. So you find people in the temple, right? But have they taken refuge there? Their refuge is in money or good life, whatever. So they are revolving around that only. You understand? So therefore he says, having taken refuge in this knowledge. What does that mean? It means you should be clear in your head that knowledge alone can give you emancipation. Because the problem is ignorance. The ignorance of the self is the problem. Therefore, what can give emancipation? What can give redemption? Only knowledge of the self. But knowledge of the self can be gained or imbibed completely only to the extent I have become pure. My mind becomes pure. So for the mind to become pure, I have to do karma yoga and bhakti yoga. Karma yoga to make the mind pure, bhakti yoga to make the mind single pointed. So be doing karma yoga, which is going to work, doing business, whatever, is also for the sake of that knowledge. Are you getting this? That is when you can say that you have taken refuge in knowledge. You have taken refuge in liberation. You are not doing work for the sake of just working and earning wealth. You are doing it for purification's sake. And that purification is for gaining knowledge. And gaining knowledge will give you liberation. This is called taking refuge. Is this clear? Taking refuge doesn't mean all the time sitting and reading the book. Taking refuge in knowledge doesn't mean I'm only thinking about that. It is also there. But everything is directed towards moksha. And for moksha, only knowledge will give me moksha. And today, in my personality, there are too many desires. Okay, for example, you have this desire that you need to start something. So you start. Very good, no problem. But do it as a yoga. Otherwise, this also will be endless. So when you do it as a yoga, you are also exhausting your desire to have your own venture. At the same time, your mind is also getting purified. So in that purified mind, whatever you've been studying so far can suddenly bring the transformation. Jesus Christ says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. It is the pure in heart that can see God. So that purity aana chahiye. For that you don't have to leave the world and go. You have to be very much in the world. But you must be doing your karma as karma yoga, not as mere karma. So you don't have to change anything. You continue doing whatever you are doing. So then also it means you are taken refuge in knowledge. Okay, come to us. Why are we doing this class? One of the reasons is what? By doing this class, you will be very much studying, reflecting, doing whatever necessary sadhana for it, so you can remain in that. So whatever will help you to imbibe that knowledge more and more, you choose that and you be in it. That is called taking refuge in it. That's what I said. That means that is the main thing for you. Everything is a thing that leads you to that. Therefore, I'm in it. When you come to know that this will not help you any further, you don't need to do that. You will not rather do it. That's called taking refuge in knowledge. Because self-realization. He immediately, very interestingly says in the next very line, he says, having taken refuge in this knowledge and attained unity with me. You understand? In Sanskrit, if you see, mama sa dharmyam agataha. What does it mean? Very interesting. When you analyze, what it means is, though in English we translate as attainment, it is not attainment, it is attunement. Attainment means you were not with it, moving away. So when you read this, and attained unity with me, means he was far away. He was not far away. He was not far away, but his mind was elsewhere. You understand? He was very much there only, but his mind was elsewhere. Now, the mind that was elsewhere is now come back, which means what? Again, he's realized the unity. That's what it means. Attained unity doesn't mean they had separated and now they have attained. You are already the Atma. Due to ignorance, your mind was elsewhere. So when you take refuge in that knowledge, it brings the mind back from its preoccupation to the Atma. When it comes there, it realizes the unity with the self. Mamasa dharmyam agataha. They come back to their original nature. And once they come back to their original nature, they are neither born even in creation nor disturbed in dissolution. See, every day, every night rather, we go to sleep and we go to dissolution. Isn't it? Temporary dissolution. Yes or no? All of us go to temporary dissolution. It's called pralaya. This is called nitya pralayam. Nitya pralayam means daily going to dissolution. Sometimes the dissolution may happen in the class itself. Isn't it? Nitya pralayam. You know, when we are chanting idam jnanam upashritya, one or two fellows have gone to sleep. So which means what? They have gone to nitya pralayam. This is nitya pralayam. Then there is one more pralayam, naimitika pralayam. What is that? Our death. Right? But our death is that other pralayam. उसके बाद again prabhava होता है. We will be again born as per our vasanas. All of us imagine go to sleep around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the night. Then tomorrow morning when we wake up, I will wake up as Vedanta teacher. Surbhi will wake up as the businesswoman. You understand? Each one will wake up as per their nature only. Na? Yes or no? Why? Because the vasanas are there. Now, when you understand it from the individual point of view, microcosmic point of view, you can understand it from the macrocosmic point of view. He's talking here from the macrocosmic point of view. So, from the macrocosmic point of view also, after so many years of this kalpa, the whole thing will go to dissolution. Again, it will come back. You remember in the 8th chapter we studied 4.32 billion years. Talks about Brahmaji. Brahmaji is supposed to live 100 years. But his calculation and our calculation is different. So, his one day is 4.32 billion years here. His one night is 4.32 billion years. Now, 4.32 billion plus 4.32 billion, that is one day, into 365, then into 100. Correct or no? 4.32 plus 4.32 is 8.64. 8.64 into 365 into 100. That many years Brahmaji will live. So Brahmaji's day is Prabhava, Brahmaji's night is Pralaya. Like that, when Brahmaji life ends, aha Pralaya, uske baad again Prabhava happens. New Brahmaji comes. So there are certain kind of upasana you can do, which gives you power not to take birth in this kalpa, but in the next one you will take birth. So you cannot stop taking birth again as long as the vasanas are there. You can maximum postpone it. But whereas this person here has completely ended it. The vasanas are ended. That is what he's saying. That person doesn't take birth in creation, nor does he get completely dissolved in dissolution. You understand? He goes beyond creation and dissolution. He is not even born in creation, nor disturbed in dissolution. He is gone beyond creation and dissolution. He understood, he knows, he is beyond birth, beyond death. That's all he's trying to say. And all this is when the moment he's understood that knowledge, it happens instantly. When you take a doll made of salt, and just touch the ocean, what happens? Instantly it dissolves and becomes ocean. So we are like that doll. Ego is like that doll made of salt. It is so solidified now. It has really not touched the ocean. You understand? The day you really take refuge in that knowledge, it will happen. See, you want to enjoy Holi. Huh? You see many people on Holy Day, they wear white and go. Isn't it? They are not bothered. Whatever color it may come back, and they come back, whatever color it may turn out to be. They are the ones who will really enjoy. Other fellow says, I want to enjoy Holi, but I don't want to get any color in my body. That fellow will he enjoy? He won't even go inside. When the fellows push you inside and then they pour one full bucket of color on you and everything is gone. Then anyway, now gone. Then actually you start enjoying. Because thereafter you forget. Nah? That's called refuge. You understand? So you have to be absolutely convinced when you have to take refuge in knowledge that already I have some knowledge about this world, about these things in the world, about many things. In the new version, you can add Bitcoin also. You understand? All that I have. Right? But I understand that taking refuge in all these knowledges will still keep me as a person who will be insecure and hunting for more and more in life. Once I'm clear about that, then I will say I will stop taking refuge in that, then I'll start taking refuge in this knowledge, self-knowledge. Till then, you would have taken refuge only in the worldly knowledge. So what Vedanta says is, you have the worldly knowledge, use it for your transactional purpose. Use it for your transactional purpose. But your real refuge should be in this knowledge. That's all it is saying. If this is how you approach, then only you can liberate. If you are just gaining some information, but you are really having refuge in the worldly knowledge, worldly objects and beings, you understand? Then that means you will not liberate. Swamiji keeps on saying, as a joke he says, dollar value is going on increasing. Why? Because he says in the dollar they have written, in God we trust. What are you trusting? Nice car, nice house, right? Nice car, nice house, bank balance. You're trusting all this, right? You're taking refuge in this only. So you are interested in the knowledge which will help you to get nice car, nice house, which will help you to increase more bank balance. You're also taking refuge. But in what kind of knowledges? Worldly knowledges. Sometimes they call it as secular knowledge, not in spiritual knowledge. You understand? So that's why he puts that as the first condition. Having taken refuge in the spiritual knowledge, which means you should have clarity. All this is useful in this world for transactional purpose. But what is really useful is, what is the real knowledge that I need to gain is spiritual knowledge about myself. So then I will keep that as the central thing, these things for a transactional purpose. That is what he calls as having taken refuge in this knowledge and attained unity with me. They have crossed the creation and dissolution. They are not affected neither by creation nor by dissolution. So how nicely, beautifully he presents this thought flow. And first he says, I will talk about the knowledge. What knowledge? He used certain adjectives. Then he's explaining. You have to take refuge in that knowledge. Simply hearing is not enough. बहुत सारा सुन लिया. In fact, because you are already in the 14th chapter, I'll tell you. Because you are a student who is interested, that's why you're somehow tolerating me and continuing with me. Right? Now, in the Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 16, first verse he says, after taking all this knowledge, you have to forget this knowledge, Jesus. Even this knowledge you should not get attached. This knowledge means this information. Finally, you should be interested in becoming one with that by dissolving your ego. Sometimes, what happens is you develop more and more vasanas for Shastra. One is Loka Vasana is there. Right? You have Loka Vasana. Like that, you may have Shastra Vasana also. So he says, therefore, no, it's not the information. It's taking refuge in the Atma, the self. Let's conclude now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.